The midday sun beat down on the abandoned houses of Lumbria. Dust swirled in the empty streets, stirred by the arrival of Captain Markham and his weary soldiers. They had been marching for days, their faces grim under the weight of recent battles. Relief washed over Markham as he dismounted his war-torn steed. He had finally found Princess Viola and her loyal Lieutenant Hillsdale. They were safe. His heart, heavy with worry, felt a moment of peace.
What is the meaning of this, Princess?
Markham's voice was sharp, cutting through the air like a sword. Viola turned, a humorless smile playing on her lips.
Captain, you've arrived just in time. We're replenishing our dwindling supplies.
Her voice was devoid of warmth, her words sending a chill down Markham's spine. He had expected gratitude, not this blatant disregard for the very people they were sworn to protect. His hand instinctively moved towards the sword hilt at his side, his gut churning with a growing unease. The princess he knew would never condone such actions. Lieutenant Hillsdale, his face scarred and hardened by years of war, stepped forward.
Captain, you and your men look weary. Surely you understand the need to secure provisions. These houses are empty, their owners long gone.
His tone was smooth, deceptively calm. But Markham saw the glint in his eyes, a glint that spoke of a ruthlessness he found deeply unsettling. Something was amiss, deeply, terribly amiss.
Provisions, is that what you call this? Stealing from the very people we swore to protect? These houses may be empty, but their owners are not gone. They are out there fighting for their lives, for their kingdom.
Captain, you are a good man, a brave soldier, but you are naive. These people understand the realities of war. Survival trumps sentimentality. These supplies will help us win the war, rebuild our kingdom. A small price to pay for victory.
Markham's jaw tightened. He had always admired Viola's strength, her unwavering determination, but this was different. This was crossing a line he couldn't bear to see crossed.
Victory at what cost, Princess? Do we become the very monsters we are fighting against? Is this the legacy we leave behind?
Legacy? History remembers only the victors, Captain. Morality is a luxury for those at peace, not for soldiers fighting for survival.
He turned away, barking orders at the men, his words echoing in the eerie silence that followed. Markham felt a surge of anger, hot and consuming. He had faced countless enemies on the battlefield, but this enemy, this insidious erosion of honor, felt far more dangerous. Markham, torn between duty and conscience, sought solace in the company of an unlikely confidant, Vermithrax, an ancient dragon whose wisdom was whispered in hushed tones throughout the kingdom. Vermithrax, perched atop a crumbling tower, watched the human drama unfold below with knowing amber eyes. His scales, the color of storm clouds, shimmered in the fading light. Vermithrax, you are troubled, Captain. Vermithrax rumbled, his voice a deep, resonant echo. Markham, his gaze fixed on the dragon's ancient eyes, poured out his heart. He spoke of his loyalty to the crown, his admiration for Viola, and his growing unease at the path they were on. He finished, his voice raw with emotion.
Is it naive, old friend, to believe in honor, in integrity, even in the midst of war? Vermithrax? Honor is not a cloak to be worn or discarded at convenience, Captain. It is the very fabric of your being, the compass that guides your soul through the darkest of storms. To lose it is to lose yourself. The path of righteousness is rarely easy, but it is always the right path.
Markham, his spirit lifted by the dragon's words, felt a renewed sense of purpose. Vermithrax had reminded him that true strength lay not in blind obedience, but in the courage to stand up for what was right, even when it was difficult, even when it meant defying those in power. He would find a way. He had to, for the sake of his kingdom, for the sake of his own soul. Markham, his resolve solidified, moved through the makeshift camp, his eyes searching out his most trusted soldiers. He found them huddled around a flickering fire, their faces etched with the same unease that gnawed at his own heart. He sat amongst them, the firelight dancing in his eyes, and spoke of honor, duty, and the insidious nature of the choices they were being asked to make.
We are soldiers, not thieves. We are sworn to protect the innocent, not steal from them. We can fight for our kingdom. We can win this war without sacrificing our souls. We can be better than this.
The soldiers, emboldened by their captain's words, began to voice their own doubts, their own unease. They spoke of their families, their homes, and the kind of kingdom they were fighting for. A kingdom where honor and integrity were not mere words, but the very foundation upon which their society was built. Markham listened, his heart swelling with a mix of pride and sorrow. He had planted a seed of dissent, of hope. Now, he had to find a way to make it grow. But their whispers did not go unnoticed. Hillsdale, his eyes like chips of ice, materialized from the shadows.
What's this I hear, Captain? Spreading dissent amongst your own men? Undermining your superiors?
His hand rested menacingly on the hilt of his sword, his threat hanging heavy in the air.